Right now at 10, life-threatening flash flooding is ongoing across northeast Minnesota. From Hibbing to Duluth, roads are closed and homes and businesses are filled with water. Here's Adam with the very latest.
Thanks, Dan. Yes, we do have flash flood warnings still out there in a few areas, including here in the Twin Ports and all the way up the North Shore, and a small section in St. Louis County as well, northern St. Louis County. These are flash flood warnings, but we also have some flood warnings and watches out there still. This flood warning is across areas of northern St. Louis County, northern Lake County, and down into Itasca County and stretching between Brainerd and Bemidji. We have a flood advisory with this little section right here, and then still flood watches across most of the Arrowhead region that continue into early tomorrow morning. So a lot of rain in a very short period of time. Anywhere between 1 and 7 inches of rain have been reported so far across portions of northeastern Minnesota. Here in the Twin Ports, the last I checked is right around 3 or 4 inches. Now that line of thunderstorms is starting to move into far northwest Wisconsin. The threat of tornadoes has subsided, so no longer expecting any major threat of tornadic activity. But some of these storms moving into Wisconsin still could be strong, maybe even severe, producing some heavy rain, of course, as well as frequent lightning, maybe some small hail, and maybe some gustier winds also. A lot of lightning associated with this storm system, especially with that band moving into far northwest Wisconsin. So you're definitely going to be hearing that here tonight. But check this out. This is one of the rivers up the North Shore, the Baptism River, actually spiking at the moment and just starting to reach into moderate, if not getting close to some major flood staging there. And so we're going to be seeing this across the region throughout the night. Rivers are going to be spiking, especially up the North Shore. They're very flashy rivers, which I know sounds weird, but basically they flash flood very frequently. And with the amount of rain that we saw, it's no surprise that we're seeing that spike, but it is continuing up. It hasn't plateaued quite yet, or crest yet, I believe is the proper term there. So we're going to be keeping a very close eye on stuff like that. Those storms continue to move out of our region as we head through tonight. A couple of more pop-up showers or rumbles of thunder possible right around midnight, but I don't anticipate a whole lot more rain accumulation. We do clear out tomorrow, so we are on the tail end of this system. But again, it's not over yet, especially with those storms moving over areas of northwest Wisconsin here as we speak. I'll take a closer look at all this in a lot more detail and check back in with you guys here throughout the show quite a bit more in just a bit. But I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Adam. Flash flooding is happening right now in Duluth. This was sent to us from Mark Webb. Water rushing down streets and sidewalks along 9th Avenue East and 4th Street in Duluth. As you can see, the water coming right up to a doorstep of a home or building there.
Yeah, and here's a look at some of the flash flooding happening on Duluth's hillside. In that roughly the same area, you can see streets completely covered with water. Water rushing down hills there. Again, that's on 9th Avenue and 4th Street in Duluth.
And down closer to the lake on Garfield and West Railroad Street right now, flooding on the road, making it difficult for travel. Coming from Wisconsin, this area of Garfield is impassable at this hour.
And we do want to send you out to a crew. Of course, we have crews all across the area. We have a team out in Duluth right now. The city of Duluth is responding to us as well with our inquiries about what they're doing to monitor the situation. They tell us they are keeping a close eye on roads right now at this hour.
Yeah, what you're seeing is a portion of the hillside. I believe this is close to 4th Street, on the eastern side of 4th Street. You can see water just rushing over the roadways. It is not a safe place to be driving. And this is not unique to this part of the city. This is all over right now. We showed you some of those road closures and some of the areas to avoid. You hear it from Adam constantly. Turn around, don't drown. These cars, these vehicles, these people trying to get where they need to go at this hour. However, this is not recommended. Don't drive through an area that has water over the road.
Yeah, the city echoing that warning again tonight, just to not drive through any of the standing water, because it is deceiving at this hour. You just don't know how deep that water is. They are asking also, if you see flooding, if you see things like that in your neighborhood, to report it to the city so they can come and monitor the situation. And if they need to close the road, they will do so.
And again, this is a live look right now from the hillside. And as soon as we get information from the city, we're waiting to hear more about road closures, areas to avoid possible washouts. I know this is a fluid situation. We will bring you that information as we get it. Like I said, we're working to learn more. We'll get back to Duluth here in just a few minutes, but it is just one location that has been severely impacted by flooding. Check out Ely earlier today. This photo showing a road dealing with some serious standing water coming up to the undersides of the vehicles, and also a manhole cover just being blown out, water coming up from under the street.
Yeah, this is something we've been tracking all night. Adam forecasting that heavy rain coming down so quickly. This was sent to us from Pamela Wettering. This video from back road near Tower. As you can see, water just rushing and ripping across the road where she and her dog were out for a walk earlier today near Tower. Flooding not only on the road, but in ditches and, as you can see, nearby woods as well.
And here's a brief video showing how powerful that heavy rain is tonight, washing out Breezy Point Road. This is up in Greenwood Township near Lake Vermilion. You can see the pavement crumbled, water rapidly moving through, and some folks trying to find a way to get across that road. No doubt closed tonight, and it's probably going to be a while before it reopens to traffic.
Very, very dangerous situation out there. Several portions of state highways are closed tonight in northeast Minnesota due to that flooding. And here's a look at them right now. They include Highway 53 just south of Cook, Highway 1 east of Angora, and Highway 169 southwest of Tower. There are many other portions of state highways impacted by flooding tonight. We have a link to Minnesota's 511 where you can find an interactive map showing you all of the closures.
And we've got a lot of power outages too, not just because of strong winds, but especially because of flooding, believe it or not, tonight. This is what's going on. Minnesota Power reporting about 3,500 outages at this hour. Most of those are in the city of Duluth. A lot of traffic lights out tonight if you're out driving around, which hopefully you don't have to. Lake Country Power members, especially out near Grand Rapids, also in the dark tonight, about 600 of their members.
Well, tonight we are following a developing story up in the Boundary Waters where rescue crews are trying to reach an injured child.
According to the Cook County Sheriff, a 9-year-old boy was in his tent this evening, which is around the time that storms rolled into the area. That's when a tree came down on the tent, injuring the boy. It's unclear how badly he's hurt. The sheriff tells us they're working to find the campsite and get him out. They actually want to get him out by boat. At last check, crews were not there yet, still trying to reach that point. We are working to learn more. We've got Sheriff Gordon Ramsey on the phone with us right now, talking about damage, but especially the flash flooding situation across St. Louis County. Sheriff, thank you for joining us here tonight. St. Louis County, just the bullseye of this flooding situation. What is the situation right now? What are some of the areas hardest hit?
Well, right now from Hibbing over to Ely, Orr area, Lake Vermilion, south to Gilbert, over to Evelyn. A lot of roads, a lot of washouts, and a lot of roads right now are not passable.
Sheriff Ramsey, you know, you've obviously covered flooding in this region. Back in 2012, there was a major flooding as well, that anniversary upon us now. When you think back to the kind of responses that needs to happen to be able to respond to these types of emergencies and the severe weather, what does your team do to prepare for things like this?
Well, you know, emergency management is a big part of what we do. But out there tonight and talking with, fire officials and different public safety officials and even neighbors, we're seeing water like many haven't seen in decades. So it is a significant event for the county, and we're doing everything we can, one, to mark the roads that aren't safe, and to also, a lot of the fire departments right now on the range are helping people get water out of their basements. There's a lot of homes that have been flooded, and everybody's coming together right now to help each other out. But it's a dangerous situation now that it's dark on the roads because of these washouts. Not all the roads have been marked. We haven't found all the washout yet, especially on more of the rural highways and county roads. So people just need to be careful tonight and stay home until daylight.
And Sheriff, I know a lot of people are watching as we take a live look at some of the water inundating Duluth right now. But a lot of people watching tonight, especially in more rural parts of the county, saying, hey, I'm going to have to get out there in the morning, try to get to work. We've got these state highways closed. What's being done by your crews now and tomorrow, especially, to try to get folks where they need to go, even with these roads that are going to be washed out for a while?
Right now, all the roads are being marked that we're aware of so that people can be aware that they're not passable or that there's dangers. That's the first step. Tomorrow, we'll be out assessing damage, and the plans will be made to begin repairing the roads immediately. Most of the major roads, Highway 53, 169, we anticipate that unless there was damage, they'll be reopened when the water subsides. But some of the roads where culverts have washed out, which there are a significant number, it's going to take some time to get these roads open again.
All right. Again, St. Louis County Sheriff Gordon Ramsey with us at 10 o'clock at night. Sheriff, thank you so much, and to your team for working so late into the hours to get our roads safe and to get families up on the range home safely.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's been a really rough night for folks all across the Iron Range as well, where flash flooding has closed roads and inundated homes and businesses, like I heard the sheriff say there.
Absolutely. Now, this is what Highway 169 looked like this evening in Hibbing, where flooding closed it on both directions. Sounds like some traffic is being allowed back through there right now. And
that includes our Cara cop, who was able to make her way through 169 a short time ago, allowed by law enforcement to do so. Cara, what's the latest there from that stretch of 169?
Yeah, as you guys were saying, Highway 169 here near Hibbing was completely flooded in. But luckily it is cleared now. But this entire section was the area that was flooded due to that heavy rainfall, making it impassable for anyone trying to get through. And this was just one example of the storm's impacts in this area. Earlier, Hibbing roads, parks, and parking lots, like the one at O'Reilly's, were completely flooded in. Trucks getting stuck with the water reaching their windows, and basements of homes and businesses getting flushed with that rainwater. According to Samantha Kosala, who has lived in the area her whole life, she has never seen a storm like this before, calling the flooding ridiculous, even noting some of her neighbors were basically swimming in the water at the peak of the flooding.
It was crazy. It was a crazy storm. I'm glad that we didn't get hit by any tornadoes, anything like that, but we definitely got the flooding. Definitely got the flooding.
I have seen many Hibbing work trucks on the road since I arrived here earlier, many of which were busy clearing the storm drains and blocking off those flooded roads. The city is asking residents to be patient as they work through, and as you guys were mentioning earlier, to just not drive through those flooded areas.
Our Cara cop live for us from Hibbing tonight. Cara, thank you.
And stay alerted. The latest, anytime a flash flood warning is issued tonight or anytime in the future for your exact location, be alerted to it by having our Northern News Now First Alert weather app handy.
All right, so let's take another look at what we got for warnings out there. We do have flash flood warnings across northeast Minnesota. It does include the Twin Ports area. A lot of these will expire between 11 o'clock tonight and around midnight tonight. That doesn't necessarily mean the danger is completely done with. So we do still have flood warnings across much of the Iron Range, north central Minnesota, and into parts of central Minnesota. And then down in Carlton, Pine, and Aiken counties, there's also a flood advisory until about 11 o'clock here tonight, or just shy of that. And so we're going to continue to see waters on the rise, especially in our rivers and streams and stuff like that. Let's take a look at some of the radar indicated rain totals here. So these aren't necessarily official numbers, but it gets us in the ballpark. And anywhere between 6 and upwards of 7 inches of rain have fallen in parts of northern St. Louis County, Lake counties, and even out towards Cook County. Around 4 or 5 inches of rain have fallen there as well. Here in the Twin Ports area, looking at anywhere between 2 and 4 inches of rain have fallen in a very short time. I know it says 6-hour rain total, but that was just so I could capture everybody in this one graphic here. Most of that in the Twin Ports has occurred within the last couple of hours, 2-3 hours or so. So a lot of rain in a short period of time. Some good news is we are on the tail end of the rain here in the Twin Ports, as well as in areas off to our north across the range. Now, there will still be a few stray showers that kind of pop up and move through about midnight tonight, but I think the heaviest of the rain is pretty much done on the Minnesota side of things. locations other than the North Shore, still getting quite a bit of thunderstorm activity up that way. And then we're also going to be dealing with a strong line of thunderstorms moving through northwest Wisconsin over the next couple of hours or so. It does not look like these will become severe, but they still could be strong, producing some very heavy rain and some gustier winds as well. So that's something we'll keep a close eye on. No tornado threats in the forecast for the rest of the overnight. Just going to be dealing with these flooding issues that are, again, like Gordon Ramsay said, have taken out roads. It's a very dangerous situation when it gets dark outside and you're going down the highway and all of a sudden there's no road in front of you anymore. Obviously, that's a very, very dangerous situation. So crews are out there looking and analyzing all of the roadways and make sure that everyone is safe. I know we had a viewer up in Burnside. They said that they were stranded because the road was completely washed out. So hopefully they were able to get some help up that way as well. We got a lot more to cover here with the rest of this storm system, and I'll take a deep dive into all of that and look at what I expect for the rest of the week ahead in just a little bit. We'll be right back after this quick break. Man, it has been just a crazy night out there tonight. We've seen tons of flooding across northeast Minnesota, flooding that I haven't seen personally in my career up here ever, as far as how widespread it was. You know, I was here for the 2012 flood. I was probably 3 months into the job, and so it was all very overwhelming. This was on another level, just with how vast of a flooding event we had here tonight, folks. So this is going to go down in history books, at least in our climate books for sure. Flash flood warning still in effect across the North Shore region, extending all the way down into the head of the lake as well, and also up towards kind of north central St. Louis County or northern St. Louis County. We have those flash flood warnings until 11 o'clock or midnight, depending on where you live. It does expire a little bit earlier here in Duluth. But we do still have a flood warning across areas of northern St. Louis, northern Lake, extending into Itasca, far southern Koochiching County, and even further west out of our viewing area. So the flooding concerns will continue there all the way through 4 p.m. tomorrow. The waters are still going to be on the rise. Roads are still going to be washed out. This is not something that we'll be able to fix or clean up overnight. We're talking weeks of cleanup to get things back to normal, I think, maybe even longer, depending on how bad it really is. You know, these reports have been filtering in throughout the night. You guys have been sending tons of great pictures and video, and for the most part, safely, which I really appreciate it as well. But take a look at some of our rain totals. Up in northern St. Louis County, we had one zone pick up 6, 7, 8 inches of rainfall, it looks like. One little sliver in Lake County also picked up around 6 or 7 inches of rain. And then here around the head of the lake, again, around 3, 4, 5 inches of rainfall. So zooming in off to our north, where we had that 5 to 8 inches of rainfall in just this little section right around the Ely area there. So that was pretty significant. Up in Lake County and Cook County also saw anywhere between 4 and 7 inches of rain falling up that way. And again, these are the rivers and streams along the North Shore are what we consider to be flashy. So they flash flood very, very rapidly. They spike very quick and then come down really quick as well. And so we're going to be seeing that overnight tonight. It's a very dangerous situation. Stay away from the rivers and waterfalls and all that stuff for now, because they could be washing out culverts, and all sorts of bad things can happen around fast water. Don't let your kids play in the fast water and the ditches and all that stuff. It's not a good idea. It could be very dangerous. So just be extra, extra cautious. Give it a day or two to let those rivers calm down. I'm sure Gooseberry Falls will be absolutely gorgeous in a couple of days. It'll still be very, very high water there. Down here in the Twin Ports, 3 to 4 inches of rain has fallen all the way down towards areas like Cloquet as well and up the North Shore. So quite a bit of heavy rain here around the head of the lake. And those storms are now just moving across areas of northwest Wisconsin. You guys haven't really seen a whole lot here tonight, so I'm sorry the coverage has been mostly on the Minnesota side. But we've been dealing with all the flooding. Now you guys got the storms moving in right now. Fortunately, they're moving at a much faster pace. The storms over Minnesota were basically just sitting in one spot for the most part, what we call training. So going from southwest to northeast and over the same spot over and over and over and over with not just a little bit of rain. I mean, that was some of the heaviest rain I've seen in quite a while, even here at the station. Now these storms moving across Wisconsin, not severe, still producing quite a bit of heavy rain, but it's not going to be lasting as long for you guys. So hopefully you guys won't be dealing with that, flash flooding that we're dealing with here on the Minnesota side of things. Still could see some localized flooding, minor flooding going on, but not on the scale that we're currently seeing across northeastern Minnesota. Still quite a bit of frequent lightning, and again, maybe some gustier winds that could knock over a trash can or something like that. But as of right now, it doesn't look like it will be anything severe. So again, with this flooding danger, turn around, don't drown. That's the #1 rule, especially tomorrow morning if you're heading out to work. You got to find a different way to get around. Don't go over any flooded roads as they can collapse. And I've seen videos on Facebook popping up of roads literally collapsing in front of people tonight. So extremely dangerous. 12 inches of water, so a foot of water, can sweep away pretty much any commuter vehicle. So light trucks down to sedans can be swept away in 12 inches of water. Which we have seen water, waist deep in some areas here tonight. So very dangerous situation. Be very safe. We're going to be seeing those storms exiting the region pretty quick tonight, and then tomorrow, nice and quiet. We settle things down. We'll be able to figure out, what roads are closed, what we need to do to recover from this. No more rain in the forecast for tomorrow. We should dry out. That low pressure system exits, high pressure moves in, settles things down for us for a little bit. Then as we move into Thursday, there will be another chance of rain on the way for some folks on Thursday, especially south of the Twin Ports across areas of Wisconsin. So that's some good news across northeast Minnesota. Bad news is more rain, showers, and thunderstorms are expected to return as we head into Friday, Saturday, and Saturday morning at least, and maybe even into Saturday afternoon with this next big system. And it looks like it could bring quite a bit more rain. So hopefully things kind of settle down by then. I'll take a look at that 7-day forecast, though, coming up right after the break. All right, here's a look at tomorrow's forecast. Temperatures will be in the 70s. Dry conditions tomorrow, so that's good. We can let this water finally settle down. Now here's a look at that 7-day forecast for you. Should be seeing some rain showers in Wisconsin on Thursday, but dry on the Minnesota side. And then showers and thunderstorms expected Friday night into Saturday morning at least. And then Sunday, some lingering scattered rain showers. Temperatures will be a little bit cooler to end out our week here, but not bad into the weekend. And then next week, climbing well into the 80s for highs, or I guess lower 80s for highs. Back into the 80s for highs is what I meant to say for Monday and Tuesday. So nice and warm there. But yeah, definitely a crazy situation, guys, here tonight.
Something lost in all of our flood coverage tonight. We had a tornado touchdown.
Yes.
On the Cotton area tonight. No reports of damage so far, we should point out.
Yeah, but I'm sure the National Weather Service will go out there in the next day or two and figure out what strength tornado that was. But yeah, we saw some funnel clouds, some wall clouds, tornado warnings, floods. Crazy.
Yeah, just crazy. And again, the flash flooding has been the biggest thing we're seeing tonight. We want to give you another live look at the situation right now outside in Duluth. This is a live look coming to us from Duluth's hillside on 9th Avenue and 4th Street. As you can see, water just flowing and rushing down sidewalks and streets there.
And this is with the rain lightening up. That just shows you how much water has come down in the last couple of hours here, creating this flood situation. We expect to get an update from the city very soon on road closures, possible washouts, and other information folks need to know.
That's right. Flash flooding again making it very difficult to drive across the city tonight. This is video sent into us from a driver trying to make it through the I-35 tunnels in Duluth. Very dangerous. As you can see, that water so high it appears to almost reach the hood of the car there. Now, according to Minnesota State Patrol, we reached out to them. They told us that northbound lanes are shut down right now. Traffic is being diverted at this time.
Down the hill on Garfield and West Railroad Street right now, flooding on the road was making travel difficult to impossible right now, especially coming from Wisconsin. The area of Garfield Avenue is basically impassable at this hour. We're going to be right back with more flood coverage for you.
Well, we are again following that developing story at the top of the hour in the Boundary Waters, where rescue crews are still trying to reach an injured child.
According to the Cook County Sheriff, a 9-year-old boy was in his tent this evening at his campsite, which is around the time the storms rolled into that area, and that's when a tree came down on that tent, injuring the boy. It's unclear how severe his injuries are. The sheriff tells us they're working to find the campsite. This is up in Cook County. They're working to find the campsite and then boat him out of there. At last check, they were still trying to reach the campsite. We are working to get the very latest information.
Yeah, across the region, of course, just damage and flooding from all around the area. This is, again, video showing just how powerful that heavy rain is tonight. Washed out roads. This is Breezy Point Road in Greenwood Township. You can see that pavement crumbling under the water, and people very quickly trying to find a way to get people safely across that open road.
Now, the flooding hit Ely as well. We've had roads wash out in that area tonight. But, Adam, all of this video we're showing, it exemplifies the power of water and why this is such a dangerous situation.
And this is going to be a historic event. We're going to remember this storm system for a long time with just how many people were impacted.
All right, stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Thanks for joining us.